Yeah, I think Amazon also has figured out to a better extent how to be the infrastructure player that where they shine. When they go into software and even some platform capabilities, so they sometimes struggle to figure out what they're doing. But from an infrastructure side, they know that if they can find a use case that scales along with the IT market, they're going to shine in that regard. And as they start thinking about scaling further, we run into another issue that they're looking at, which is energy. Suddenly, Amazon is looking at supporting nuclear capabilities as well, partnering with a variety of utilities, and they're not the only one doing it. Honestly, Microsoft's doing it, Google's doing it. All the big companies are getting into nuclear, so you know it's trendy.
Yeah, and I've been a fan of the resurgence of nuclear. I think we're obviously entering an era where we're going to, energy demands are not going to drop anytime soon, even with some of this improvement. The use cases around AI are just increasing. So this is a problem we need to solve, and I think it's a very legitimate way of solving it. I guess my question for you back is if I'm a CIO, while this may be esoterically interesting and part of my ultimate supply chain, because I'm leveraging these major providers. Like you said, it's Amazon, Microsoft, I think just announced one. Um, so it's obviously relevant in that my suppliers are going down this road. But as a CIO, should I be taking something from this from your perspective?
Oh yeah, everybody should build a nuclear plant immediately. No, but seriously, I don't think it's a coincidence that Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, they're all betting on the fact that AI is probably going to 2x or 3x the amount of power that is needed by IT to get things done. They are investing in this capex right now and these partnerships probably to bundle independent power with their own future data center builds. And for companies that are highly invested in their own private cloud or data center operations, this is probably something to consider as well. You may want to make sure that you have significant energy coverage that is off grid or probably hybrid with your utility to make sure that your data centers stay up and running. This might not be nuclear either. This might be whatever is most common for your area of the world. It could be wind, it could be solar, but some sort of independent energy supply capability is probably going to be a more common IT issue for the Fortune 500 over the next 5 to 10 years. You're not going to need it immediately, just as these companies don't need it immediately. Most of these companies are planning for 2030 right now. So if you're not planning to be a CIO in 15 years, maybe this is not really an issue for you. But if you are in it for the long haul, this is probably something you're going to run into before the end of your career.
Well, what I do find curious or interesting to see is will this, what I was going to say is, will this become something that is again a top of mind issue? So, I remember back in the old days, 10 whole years ago, we would talk about how the fact we don't have a chief power officer at companies anymore, right? Because that used to be a big deal, right? The dawn of the
Yeah.
industrial age, getting power into your plants and whatever was a big, big deal. And so you had dedicated resources who were responsible for that. And now, with utilities and the stability, at least here in the US, that it just was a sort of much a non-issue. Um, but now, at least when it comes to the tech stack, will it become an issue? Will it become differentiating? Will it be a decision that we actually are making choosing partners or vendors based on their power supply and their power grid, and can they sustain it? I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be normalized. I'm not sure that it's going to be an entirely relevant thing, but I do think if you're a CIO, it's at least something you should be aware of and keeping your eye on, and that something that we haven't had to worry about much recently is now something we have to be thinking about again.
Yes, and I think the relevant numbers are that the estimates are that tech will continue to be, call it 3 to 4% of revenues from a spend perspective, but the energy usage is expected to go up from about 2% of current use, 2% of a company's current use to about 8%. So that so as that energy growth grows much faster than IT spend as a whole, we're going to have to try to figure out how to reconcile all of that. And probably more of IT's budget is going to go back into energy again. And then we're going to have to care about energy. I guess we're going to call it energy FinOps or whatever the trendy term ends up being, nuclear FinOps.
Nuclear, that will be your category. I will not get into that one.